I tell you, when you are not only connected, but you've invested in the relationship bank account. What happens a lot of times, people ask for things before they've invested, and the bank account's empty. But when you've invested in the relationships first, you can pretty much get whatever you need in life and in business. I'll give you a quick story. About 2 years ago, I was actually coming out here to LA, or maybe it was a year and a half ago, for my Harv Eker speech and some other events. And so I asked two of my friends who actually charge a lot of money to script out and work on speeches. So they both came over to my house, and they did me a favor. So otherwise, it would cost me $25,000 to have both of them there for the 4 hours. And anyway, make a long story short, one of them at the end of the day, my friend Jason Ullman. Have you guys ever heard of Conversations with Millionaires by chance with Mike Littman? Anyway, he wrote, actually, if you've ever gotten an email that says, buy this book today, and if you do, I'll give you a stack of resources and bonuses from my famous author friends, he pioneered that whole strategy before anyone else did. So he's a very brilliant guy. So at the end of the day, he goes, Larry, he goes, you're giving me a headache. Meaning we were just going back and forth on so many different things. I'm like, well, why don't you just take off for dinner and we'll just talk tomorrow? And so, the next day at about 4:30, I get a call. But not from Jason. I get a call from his roommate telling me he's in the hospital and he's got a 30% chance to live. He just had a brain aneurysm. And I was like, holy cow, you've got to be kidding me. And so here's the power of connection. Or let me just, remember yesterday I said, is there a difference between having a contact and a connection? Okay? So be very clear. Make sure you're investing in these bank accounts first, and here's why. I called well, first of all, he was in a bad hospital to begin with. And if your family member had a 30% chance to live, wouldn't you want the best medical doctors in the world working on that person? You don't want to be playing Russian roulette. We've got the seventh best doctor who's available on a shift that's available at Saturday night in the ninth worst hospital in Atlanta. So here's what I did. And this is what's totally possible. So all this money and all this business stuff is nice, but when your life is on the line, now it counts. So I said, okay, who do I know? Who has so much influence and clout they can make things happen? So I asked better questions. Who is the top physician and how would we find that person? How could we get a hospital bed opened up in one of the better hospitals that would treat brain surgery? So 5 people I reached out to. All 5 returned either a phone call or an email, all within a 60-minute period of time. Now, when most of these guys are big-time CEOs, and they're busy, and one guy just got back off the plane from Germany, he's an advisor to President Bush. And so anyway, one told me Emory University is the best, and then another person called me back and said, I believe the top expert is here. David Noor, who's going to be speaking tomorrow morning, he gave me a contact of the guy that runs Emory Hospital, and we were explaining the situation. So, fortunately, he was able to get over to Emory. We figured out who the best, physicians were, and I'm proud to say, he's doing 10 times. I mean, he's alive, and I just saw him. I just had lunch with him the other day. But that is the power of connection. You can make things happen quickly when it counts. Okay, so getting an email returned or a phone call returned is nice in business, but when you really need it, that's the power. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I'm going to teach one strategy that you guys all can implement, and then we're going to take the rest of the time and do a couple quick exercises. And so, would you guys like to know how a new speaker, okay, within less than a year and a half of speaking, was sitting in the middle of the most influential speakers and authors in the world, and how you can replicate that simple idea for whatever business you have, so you're sitting in the core epicenter of power and influence in your industry. Would that be a good thing? Okay, so let me just kind of share what happened, and let me shut that down. Okay, so basically, ways that you can make this happen rather simply is, A, you got to identify who are the movers and shakers in your industry, or maybe those perfect partners or perfect clients, okay? So a year ago, Stephen Pierce, who's going to be speaking to you guys in about an hour, he was having an event, and I briefly alluded to this. So at his event, he was telling me he was having some of the top online marketers in the world, Tim Ferriss from the 4-Hour Workweek, Harv Eker, who you might know, and Jay Abraham. Anyway, some really amazing people in the world of speakers and authors. And so the first thing I said, when he called me asking if my client, Bill Bartman at the time, could come, I got Bill to go, and then I tried to figure out what else would I have to do to get invited. So fast forwarding, I started inviting people in my Rolodex, some that I didn't even have that much of a relationship with, but I knew if I invited them to this amazing event, most of them would probably say yes. So some of you are here, and you want to get to here in terms of the next rung of whoever you're trying to connect with, okay? So if there is a cool event that's already taking place and happening, is there a way that you can somehow tag along, either as a volunteer, or if nothing else, like invite? Like I'm going to invite several of you to this Richard Branson event, okay? So again, find those core events that you could be a part of, invite, or what have you. So again, I asked myself a better question. What else could I do to add so much value to Stephen Pierce at this party he was doing that he would then want to invite me? So basically he said, why don't you facilitate the networking? Why don't you see what else you can do to kind of make the experience better for everybody? So I go out there, and literally at this place, I'm talking the biggest names. It was unbelievable. People came from Malaysia, Australia, all over the place. So then I asked myself another question. It would just be an absolute shame to let all his work that he did, getting all these people together. So I said, what if we created a network, a mastermind group that gets together on the phone once a month, okay? And we, bring these to get people together for networking purposes, what have you. Hey, by the way, like Dave and Ken, you guys were just there. Wasn't that an amazing 48 hours of what happened? Jack Canfield from Chicken Soup. I didn't know Jack Canfield until a week ago. I mean, I knew who he was, but he showed up at an event that I put together. I mean, who else was there? It was unbelievable. It's like Rockstar City. Ron LeGrand, again, he's putting 3,000 people. He's got Jay Leno coming to this. I'm doing an event. He's paying $150,000 just to have Jay Leno show up to give comedy for an hour. Yeah, that guy's playing at a really kind of big level. But anyway, right? John Carlton, top cop. I mean, again, I knew of John Carlton, one of the top 3 or 4 copywriters in the world. Guy gets $1,000 for 15 minutes. That's good work when you can get it, by the way. Anyway, so here's the model that you could follow, and you can make this happen for yourself. A, identify who the players are. If you don't know who they are, there's no way of going out and building relationships with them. Then, Dave was talking about, well, I can't build relationships with everybody, so then focus on the few that you can, okay? So that was Stephen Pierce. And by the way, I love Stephen. I don't know if you've ever seen him speak or whatever. I mean, he's a very big presence, big guy. And I've met him at seminar after seminar, and as good as I am at connecting, I would not say there was ever really a strong connection. I tried, and just sometimes you just have a little bit more trouble breaking through. And for the first time in my life, I was able to really connect with Stephen. The other guy named Chet Holmes, who wrote The Ultimate Selling Machine, great book. If you haven't got it, it's a great book. Anyway, I asked his assistant at the Harv Eker event, I said, hey, I'm going to be there with Bill Bartman. Can I do dinner with him for a few minutes? Or can I pick him up at the airport? Can I do whatever I needed to do? And then I figured out over a quick dinner, he mentioned 3 things. He was trying to get funding for his movie business. He was trying to find a call center. And anyway, I didn't have any contacts really in the call center business, but because it was something that was a big need for him, and I wanted to build a relationship. He's one of the top sales gurus in the world. He gets like 5,000 hours to do coaching, a ridiculous sum of money to do private stuff for big companies like Mercedes. So those were 2 people right there. So once I had one of those 2 things, I said, well, let's go. We invited some of their friends, my friends or whatever, and now you shake all this stuff up. With what just happened, we had $50 million of deals, and it happened in a 48 period of time. So guys like Jack Canfield said, well, I'll go invite Tony Robbins, and another guy calls me and says, I'll go invite David Bach and Ken Blanchard. I'm like, I've heard of these guys. I watch them on TV. So all I'm saying is, if you just follow this thing, even if you put a little small group mastermind together of, where's Mark Vahanian? I saw him. Oh, yeah. So for you, you're trying to reach into the financial services vertical, could you not find 10 either non-competing companies or 8, a small group, and you say, hey, I'm going to bring you guys together quarterly or twice a year, or bring you guys together on the phone and share best practice tips, but you just be the conduit for all this stuff. Could some of you guys do what I'm talking about? Okay. Or some of you guys look at me like glazed over in terms of saying this is a little out there, or Does anyone have any questions? Okay. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what I'll do. On one of my group coaching calls, when I actually have a lot more time, I will go through step by step everything, but I'm trying to give you a high level idea to give you access and influence.
How do you think you deal with it when you have people that you want to reach out to like that or who are in competing companies? I mean, can you bring them together? Do you think in a positive way?
I think it's possible. If you're talking Coke and Pepsi, probably not. So it's going to be it's probably not. But I'll be honest with you, like in our business, you got guys that were competitive, but they're co-opetition. So sometimes an idea could be shared, and 1 + 1 can equal 11. So it's a good question. So Shona, why don't you come up here actually, and I'm going to do some quick exercises. I'll just show you, I think, the power of connectivity and what we can kind of do. And all right, so some of you guys handed in your little things yesterday. So you want to share with everyone what you do and what you were looking for?
Yes, I do women's seminars and workshops and self-help. I have an entire series, and right now I'm doing one called Guy Free, Working on Me. It's helping women find their own soul before they find their soulmate or look for their soulmate. So we have seminars on cruise ships, we have weekend seminars, we have phone seminars, we have all kinds of things. WorkingOnMe.com. So one of the things that I'm doing is, at this point I'm publishing a book, Guy Free, Working on Me. Or I'm hoping to publish a book, so I'm looking for the right connection to an incredible idea that I can get out there and get people excited and start helping women heal a little bit.
All right, let me ask you a quick question.
Yes.
So is there anyone in the room that has, is Warren Whitlock in the room? Warren's here? All right, is that Rick? Here, let me talk to him. Hey, Rick. It's Larry Benet. Good. Hey, I wanted to refer, so I'm actually doing my event live, and I just wanted to, so there was someone here that were looking for a publisher and a literary agent, and she's just really, really phenomenal in what she does. So I'm going to, because I'm in a live seminar, I was going to try to put it on recording. Is that thing going to work? Do you got a second, Rick? She's actually the person that kind of helped Marianne Williamson get launched, and she was doing some cool stuff. Can I introduce you guys for 60 seconds? All right, hold on. Let's see if this will work. Yeah. So who I have on the phone is Rick Frischman. Hey, Rick.
Hello.
Can you guys hear?
Hi, Rick.
Hey, Rick,
Hi,
can you
how
hear?
you doing?
All right, so everyone, just so you know who's on the phone, Rick Frischman is one of the top publicists in the world. He also owns Morgan James Publishing. So how many of you want to write a book and publish the book in the next 12 months? Okay, what I want every one of you to do is give me your card, and we'll vet the process, and I will make an introduction to Rick and his management team at Morgan James Publishing. And if any of you ever have a need for PR, Rick is the best in the industry. His firm, Planned Arts and TV, I mean, they've worked with everyone from Jimmy Carter to the biggest, to Mark Victor Hansen, Chicken Soup for the Soul, everyone else. So, hey, Rick, I'm just going to pass you over to Shauna for just 1 second, and I appreciate you taking my call. Rick? Hey, Rick?
60 seconds, he hung up.
I think my cell phone went dead on here. So I'm going to cue it up, and I'll let you guys just talk, okay?
Thank you.
So here you go. So there you go. And here you just.
Hi, it's Rick. You reached my cell phone.
Okay,
Leave
that's
a
okay.
message.
So you can just leave a message.
At the tone, please record. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Here, yeah. Hey, Rick, it's Larry. We just got disconnected. I just want to put you on with Shauna Hoffman. I'll have her follow up. I'll give her private. I'll give her your private information, and Shauna, just tell them real fast what it is you do, and then we'll just leave them a mess. Just like 15 seconds, okay?
Hi, Rick. My name is Shauna Hoffman. I'm a speaker, lecturer, psychotherapist, and I have an incredible book series right now. The first one is called Guy Free, Working
While she's
on
doing that,
Me.
please hand me your cards if you want to be a published author inside of the next 12 months. And on the back, write Morgan James / Rick Frischman so I can remember. And actually, please give that to my assistant, Brian, not me. It'll get lost. Rick Frischman. On the back of the card, Rick Frischman. Just, you could disconnect it so we don't leave a long... Oh, he's calling me now? Oh, he's calling back? All right, hold on a second.
Should I hang on, or is he going to call me back?
Here he is, hold on.
Hey, Rick.
Yes, sir.
Stay here. So let me just, because I'm live, I'm going to just plug you to the audience that's here. So like I said, so we have Rick Frischman on the phone. And I don't know, there's about 20 people here, I guess, that are looking to maybe be published authors and might need some publicity. So I just wanted to just get you on the phone. Let me ask you a question. You're one of the most connected people I know. What's the single best strategy that you do to either connect or stay in touch, since you've got such a huge expansive Rolodex and stuff like that?
I think the best thing that anyone can do is have a book, because then people think of you in a different way. And I want to invite your audience to something in a moment. Secondly, the best thing you can do, I think, is have a newsletter and keep on developing a list so that you can have a newsletter and give people a lot of content. And when you do that, then you're connected all the time, every week, because you're trying to help people. But the key thing is not to sell, but to continually try to help people.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, Rick, just
And,
real fast.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, hey, Rick.
Everybody?
Yeah, Rick, just share for their benefit, like who are 5 author speakers that you've worked with over the years? I know you've done work with the Chicken Soup for the Souls, to Jimmy Carter. Who else have you guys done work for?
Stephen Covey, John Grisham, Jimmy Carter. Boy, I mean, there was a novelist I worked with that no one ever knew who he was because it was a brand new book. His name is Nicholas Sparks. I called him Mr. Romance on The Notebook. Barbara Taylor Bradford, Nelson DeMille. There's a few.
Can you mention names that people would actually know? No, I'm kidding. All right, so Rick, listen.
Everybody in the room, I want you to be an author. I want you to say it right now. I'm going to be an author.
All right, hey Rick. Here's what I'm going to do. Rick actually has an event, and by the way, this was totally unplanned. I actually happened to be reading the note card, and I just decided to call Rick. So Rick actually has an event, I think, with Mark Victor Hansen. Hello. Okay. Well, anyway, long story short, because he may or may not be able to get back, but he actually has an event on publishing and PR and stuff in Atlanta, and we'll get you guys a special discount if you guys want to go or something. But anyway, hey Rick, if you're there, I appreciate it. If not, okay, we're done. So okay, let's see what else. Okay, what I might do is, do you know who knows how to work a BlackBerry? No. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll just stand in the back. Well, that's okay. All right. So. Was that a good connection for some of you? Yes? Okay. Well, tell them thank you. I just don't have, we have to move on some other things. So, okay. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Massimo, why don't you come on up here? Okay. So now your thing is thankyounews.com?
Yes, it is.
What is the top 2 things you need to make this actually work?
I need to find somebody that shares the same passion that I have to bring the positive news to light, because there's so many great things going on around the world, and we don't know about it. We only hear about the bad things, and I need somebody that can assist me to push this news and bring them to light so that everybody gets them in their home every single morning, on their computer, their phone, or whatever.
All right, clarity. Write this down. Clarity will make you much more successful faster. So, specifically, if this group, the power of the room, can help you, what's the one thing you need right now that either I or someone in my network, including these people, you're probably talking hundreds of thousands of people when you factor in our different networks. What do you need right now? What can help you the most right now?
I need a website expert that can help me design a very powerful website.
Okay. So, can I have my BlackBerry, please? Thank you. I'll make that happen for you. I got tons of website resources. What else do you need?
I need finances.
How much money? This is working? Okay. What do you need from a financing perspective? Be specific.
I need $250,000 to start it.
By when?
By tomorrow.
And what's What,
5 o'clock this afternoon would be okay.
what's the return on investment to an investor? Let's say there's someone in the room, multiple people in the room with this kind of money. Joan, how big of a deal are you going after right now in real estate investing, REO stuff? 40 billion or 40 million? So someone obviously has some capital that you're talking to, yes? Right. So why would someone who in the room, let me ask you a question. Who here has access to investors, relationships? Okay. So just look, keep your hands up. Why should they introduce you to their network of investors?
The return would probably be in the neighborhood of $200 million within a year. I'm talking about creating a social network like MySpace, but with a social network where people would tune in and be proud of being part, feeling a belonging, because they know that they're doing something really good.
Awesome. Now, what? Okay.
How are you going to generate that revenue?
How are you going to generate the revenue?
There's going to be millions of people tuning into the website from all over the world, because we're going to be gathering news from all over the world, every country. Approximately now about 40 people from different countries sending us the positive news from their own countries, and the great innovations, creative minds that are creating solutions for the environment, for the homeless, for abused children. All people are doing great things, and because of the hits on the website, and I don't know exactly how it's called. I don't know the term, but the email affiliate. Well, the emails they go out.
Let me ask you a question. I'm just trying to control this. I'm not trying to.
No.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever written a business plan?
I have.
Okay. Do you have a business plan that actually shows someone would actually have an opportunity to take 250? Is there? Do you actually have a business plan that could show someone investing 250 to come pump out 200? I mean, that's a huge. That's like a venture capital type of return. Do you actually have that on paper?
I don't have that.
Okay. So here's my question: do you need someone with that type of expertise that could do that and help you with that?
Absolutely.
All right. Is there anyone in the room here with people or knowledge that do business plans or those kind of things? June knows people, or does June know? Is there more than one mic in the room, or do we just have this one? Just these two. Okay. Just talk up and I'll repeat what you say.
It's the one-page business plan. I've written an entire series around it for Jim Horan. It is the easiest business plan that anybody.
All right. So we'll get with June. Is anyone else in the room, just in case he does need to? So Stephen, here's the thing. Just for speed, get with Stephen.
Great.
And Bob. Yes? Yes. Okay. So anyone else? All right. Anything else? Yes. Connect with what? All right, so here's what I just want you to do. As soon as we're done, I want you to go get their business cards, and then you guys need to write on the back of the business cards how they can help you. Now, here's what I want you to do. What things do you bring to the table and add value on? Because I know you've got this incredible Rolodex, a lot of experience with the Ritz-Carlton and Wolfgang Puck and all these other kind of things, plus you got a big idea, right? Yeah. So let's make some magic and make that happen. Yes?
Yes.
One other thing, let's go.
I could connect him with the exact social network platform that he needs to create that on an international.
Okay. And we also have some other technologies we can introduce you to, so get his contact. And Jody Colvard is in the room.
You guys are amazing. I can't even tell you. I got goosebumps all over the place.
So, how much impact to you could this little thing we just did transform your business and your life?
Not only transform my life, it'll transform the world, the perception of this world being an amazing world.
Awesome. Let's give him a hand, a big hand.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. I wish I had someone else going through these things to allow me to look at some stuff. I just want to show you something that is it Payam? Is that? Yeah. I thought it was very good. I just happened to be looking at it at like 3:30 in the morning. It says, people I would like to meet. It says, is your favorite restaurant safe? Individuals with 401ks with IRAs looking to diversify. Accredited and private angel investors, doctors and dentists. Multi-unit and franchise restaurant chain owners. Wealthy and select, he's very specific. Tom Hanks, Alec Baldwin, Donald Trump, Howie Mandel. Okay, and here's the thing: is there not clarity? No, I'm complimenting you. He's got clarity. And here's the thing: I have a friend that knows Trump. So how much does this product cost? Is this something you'd be willing to donate if we can get it to the hands of a Trump or a Mandel or something? If I can make that happen, would you be willing to give me one and I'll give it to one of them?
I'll be definitely willing
I don't know
to
what
work
this
with
stuff
it.
costs, so
This
I'm
is
just
this
asking.
is an equipment that goes in the kitchen.
Okay.
So we are.
But here's the point I'm
finishing
making.
development right now.
So let's just use Trump and Howie Mandel. Those guys are huge germaphobes. They don't like touching anybody. So I can then go to one of my friends and say, hey, as a chip of information, there's something out there that I think, or I could even personally write a note to Mr. Trump and say, hey, listen, I just want you to know, I know, your situation, or same thing with Howie Mandel, and I think just to pass along the information. Is there anyone even with connections and connectivity in that same room? Anyway, I just wanted to say, head of American Indian Tribes and Casinos, organizations and centers of influence who care about environment and food safety. Anyway, just very well done. I'll pass this around if you guys just want to see how he did it, because I just thought that was good. Okay, Steve Shaw. Where's Steve? Okay, so first of all, I don't know what you do. It says Alex Mondosian, Rich Sheffron, and Frank Hearn. So what do you do?
I do.
Where's the mic again? Okay, good.
I do internet marketing and teach internet marketing, especially for beginners. How
He-
to set up like a landing page and get autoresponder going and things
So
of
he
that
teaches
nature.
internet marketing to beginners
Right.
with autoresponder. So here, let me just be frank. Ready? Why should Alex Mondosian, Rich Sheffron, or Frank Hearn, what would you be wanting from them?
It's mentorship, guidance. Helped me to, they started somewhere. They didn't know, how to get going. I don't even have a business plan yet. When you're mentioning a business plan, somebody to help me to establish a good business plan to raise venture capital.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, good. All right, let me go through a couple other ones. Let's see. I want you to be very clear. The one thing I want you to write down is why, really clear. What are you going to be able to bring to the table that everyone else, I know how many emails and phone calls, Frank, yeah, right? So why you versus anyone else? And write down what's the value add that you can bring. Are you looking to something for free where they just mentor you? I think Alex gets $5,000 an hour. Frank Kern, probably a couple grand an hour. And what was the other guy's name? Rich Sheffron, I'm sure he's at a couple grand an hour. So are you asking for them to just mentor you for free?
Well, whatever they can do, yeah.
He's saying yes.
That could be a charity case for
He could be a charity case. Okay. 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 Who is, last name is Zeldin? Okay. So you got here Ron LeGrand, Hugh Hefner? Okay. Carlos Slim, the most wealthiest guy in the world.
That's
Branson and Jim Carrey, is that right?
Jim Carrey.
Okay, and your value prop, what are you going to try to do with them? What's the? Be brief.
Yes.
By the way, I've got a horn, so go ahead. 30 seconds, you're on the clock.
Well, I was going to introduce him to a wonderful opportunity to invest in the
All right, here's what I want.
renewable energy. Basically, introduce him to John.
Okay, let me make this easy because
Yes.
I kind of know. I'm just trying to speed up
Yes.
the process. B, when someone says you need to, so we're going to do this quick exercise. You need to be on message, on money. Remember Ann Condrey yesterday?
Yes.
Did you sign up for her course?
No.
How much money is at stake for you this coming year with what you're working on? How much did you say it was going to be worth? 600 grand, you said?
600, yeah.
600 grand. How bad do you really want 600 grand?
Really bad.
Really? Seriously.
Yes.
Are you doing the things necessary for you to make the connections? Are you doing the things with your business to really push it to the next level?
I believe so.
Do you want my recommendation?
Yes.
Go right now and register for Ann's course. Because if I put you in front of Ron LeGrand, you don't have a chance with what you just said. I can make the introduction to Ron. I know his chief operating officer. I know exactly his wants, needs. I know how much money he's looking for. He'd be a great contact for you. But I'm really concerned if I introduce you to Ron, based on what I just asked, can you spit it out in a concise manner when he's surrounded with other people who are pitching him all these deals? Are you going to be able to differentiate yourself? Are you going to be able to? I understand you've got Joan. So my recommendation is I would go register for Ann so Ann can kind of help you bang out what you need to say in 30 seconds to 15 seconds or less. So when you're trying to get to these kind of people who could put huge dollars in your pocket from one phone call, one introduction, does that make sense?
Yes. Well, the Ron Legrand will be a different than Bryce.
I can introduce you to Ron in less than 48 hours, 72 hours. He's flying in on his private jet, but you need to own your skills.
So, okay.
Yes?
Yep.
Okay, give him a hand.